Hey guys, what is going on? It is RC Knockout and I am back with another video. Now if this is your very first time tuning into my channel, my name is Nolan, and in today's video I have got another upgrade for the Traxxas Slash 4x4 Ultimate Basher build. So you're probably wondering what is the upgrade that I have planned for today. Actually, it's multiple upgrades, but if you did watch the last video where I was running this in the mud, you probably know exactly what this upgrade is going to be, because if you did watch that video, I totally cooked my brushless motor. If you want to check out that video, I'll go ahead, put a card in the corner of the screen. It did not end well, and actually, the Slash is still dirty. It's still dirty even after I washed it about the best I could, because I basically took this thing mud bogging. It was bad. But yeah, the motor's cooked. I have been running this Surpass Hobby 3665, 3500 kV brushless motor. So it's held up really well, but I cooked it in the mud the last video. So that basically is going to lead into what one of the upgrades is for today, which is we're replacing the motor. But we're not stopping at just the motor. We're also going to go ahead and replace the ESC too. So can you guys take any guesses what I've gone with? Keep in mind, we're trying to make the ultimate bashing machine. Like I said, the motor is cooked, so we need a new motor. So I decided to go with this right here. Now this right here is the 1412 Sensored Brushless motor from Castle. So yeah, Sensored Brushless. So this thing's gonna be super smooth at low RPMs because it's not sensorless. It is, like I said, censored. Here is the motor right here. I think that the motor can on this is probably slightly shorter than the can of the Surpass Hobby motor that I currently have in. They're probably about the same diameter, but lengthwise, this one's probably ever slightly shorter, but I don't think that means it has any less power. Like I said, it is a 1412 3200 kV motor, 75,000 max RPM. That is crazy. Now, like I said, guys, I am not just replacing the motor. While I'm replacing the motor, I am also going to be replacing the ESC. And this is the ESC I decided to go with. So this right here is the Castle Creations Copperhead 10 ESC. Now, the cool thing about this ESC is it does have Smart Sense. It has data logging. It has Cryo Drive, which if you're wondering what some of those things are, Cryo Drive is basically the hardware and software working together to provide cooler temps, longer runtime, and more power. So basically, it's like an efficiency setting. So this is like an ultra efficient ESC. On top of that, it has programming, Castle Link USB programming kit. Now, it did not come with the programming kit, but I actually bought that separately. So I bought this right here, which is the Castle Creations Castle Link. I think I hooked this up to my computer. I actually don't know exactly how to use it, so I'm probably not going to do a video on it. I'll probably figure it out off camera. But I think I hooked this up to my computer, download the Castle Creations software, and then hook this up to this ESC, and I can basically set all my parameters, all my tuning, and get everything set properly with ease. What else with this ESC? Oh, also, this ESC is designed for 110 scale vehicles, weighing up to 7.5 pounds, so that falls, I think, probably within this range. I'm guessing this is less than 7.5 pounds. Now, the cool thing about this Copperhead 10 is that it is sensored brushless. So, like I said, this motor right here is censored, comes with a sensor wire. I wanted to get an ESC that's also sensor capable. So that's why I got this, which is a sensor capable ESC. Now, I think this right here, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the mid-range ESC package from Castle, because I think their base level ESCs are like the Sidewinder ESCs. I believe those are only sensorless brushless capable. Then they have their top tier ones, which I believe are like their Mamba Monster ESCs. Those are their top tier one that have all of these Cryo Drive, the data logging, the Smart Sense, all that, but then even more things, I believe. That's kind of their top tier, most powerful ESCs. This is their mid-range one right here. That's why I decided to go with it. Even though this is an ultimate basher build, if I do decide to race this thing somewhat, I already have a center diff installed, and having the sensored brushless capability will make this thing ultra smooth, like buttery smooth on the track. Also, this is waterproof, which is a must for a basher. 2S to 4S capable, guys. So this is a 4S capable ESC, which leads into another upgrade I have. Now, that battery tray that's in the Slash 4x4 is not large enough to hold a 4-cell pack. So I bought this right here. Now, this right here is the taller battery strap tie down from Traxxas. It's part number 5827X. Basically, it's like a longer spacer right here that lifts the battery tray strap up higher so you can fit a larger battery underneath the strap. I thought that was a must. I had to measure it out multiple times because I still had to find a fairly thin 4-cell pack that'll be able to fit underneath this battery strap tray. So that's why we have this upgrade. That wasn't very expensive, maybe $8, $10 tops. If you want to take a quick look at this ESC, here's what she's looking like. By the way, this one I did get with a plug already soldered on, because I do not like soldering at all, guys. I dislike it. I'm not very good at it. I always make a mess when I'm doing it. I probably could do it, but I didn't feel like it. And I wanted to get a bigger plug than just the stock Traxxas size plugs, especially since I'm going to be running this on 4S. I decided to get an XT90 soldered on. The Traxxas connectors can't take as much power as these XT90s, I believe. And let's see, don't know what that is. That looks like that's something that maybe plugs into, maybe this is if you're going to run it sensorless. It looks like this is something that plugs into, my guess is where the sensor wire goes. So maybe if you want to run sensored or sensorless rather than sensored, you plug that in. Let me get this out of here and show you the ESC. Here it is right here. As you can see, has that snake, the Copperhead. Very venomous snake, I believe. And yeah, nice, small, compact unit. Has a built-in fan. And here is the hookup right here for the sensor wire. And then the plug that plugs in your ESC. And then I guess this, oh, this is for the fan. I guess the fan isn't technically built in. The fan's actually sitting on top. You can probably unscrew it and take it off. But yes, that is it. You can see the fins for the heatsink in there. Now, I wasn't sure if this ESC is going to bolt in. Like, it doesn't have any bolting points. So I bought this right here. Now, this right here, I don't actually know if this is going to work. I might have bought this for no reason, because nowhere on this does this say this will work for the Copperhead 10 ESC. It only says this is an ESC cage for the Castle Sidewinder 4 ESC. So this fits on the Traxxas Slash 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, Stampede 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, Rustler, and Bandit. So I'm hoping it looks roughly the same dimensions. I'm hoping this cage will work with this ESC, because if it doesn't, then I'm going to have to use double-sided foam tape to stick this onto the chassis, which will work, but after you run this thing through a lot of mud, a lot of sand, a lot of grit, it tends to break that adhesion. So it just works a lot better if you have some way to actually screw the ESC down, which is why I bought this. But like I said, I don't know if this will actually work for this particular ESC. I'm hoping I can make it work, but we're just going to have to see. That is the upgrades for today, guys. Let me go ahead, get the body off, show you the damage to the current motor, and then we're going to get started swapping everything over. So let me go ahead, get the pinion off, because if I get the pinion off, you're going to be able to see a lot better what the issue with this motor is. This pinion right here, we're not going to be able to retain, because this is a 5mm shaft on this Surpass Hobby motor. Now this right here is like a 3.175. So as you can see, that ain't going to work. So I have to put the stock pinion back on, which is the 13 tooth, I believe, 3.175 bore pinion gear that came on the 3500 kV. But that's no problem there. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying this whole series, make sure to give this video a like. Also, while you're at it, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I come out with new videos, because I come out with videos on a very consistent basis. And if you want to see me test out the upgrades, you're going to want to hit that bell so you'll be notified when I do come out with them, because I'm going to be testing every upgrade that I put on. And here's what's going on with the motor. Let me go ahead and unplug it from the ESC real quick. If I actually turn this on and revved it up, you'd be able to see, but that bearing in there is basically disintegrated. The bearing fell apart, so this whole motor shaft wobbles now. It doesn't even spin by hand, really. Yeah, I can't even spin this motor shaft by hand anymore. I think it was starting to go long before I ran in the mud, but I think the mud's kind of like the final thing it could take before it actually just gave. Probably see there's some uneven gap in there. This motor's no good. Now, comparing it to the new motor I'm putting in, like I thought, it's ever so slightly a shorter motor can, just barely. But here's the big difference, the shaft. This is a 3.175. The shaft on this Surpass Hobby motor is a 5mm. And diameter-wise, like I thought, they are basically, it looks like identical diameter-wise. Let me know what you guys think of this ESC and motor choice in the comments down below, by the way. Have you run this? Do you think it'll work out well? Do you think it'll be good for bashing? Just let me know what you think. All right, guys, so to fast forward this process a little bit, I didn't show some of the disassembly. I went ahead, I unbolted the ESC, which is just held on with these two screws right here, right down into the chassis. I also removed the battery box cover and this little cover, also part of the receiver box. And another thing I'm probably going to be doing during this video, I got this other antenna tube right here. This one's kind of been bothering me because it's broken, so I had to use Gorilla Tape to hold it. I might put this other antenna tube on. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but it should still work. I'll just tuck a little bit more of that receiver wire back into the receiver box. Let me get this all unwired, and then we're going to start with seeing if we can make this ESC fit using, because otherwise, if I can't screw this down somehow, I'm going to have to use double-sided foam tape, which for the long run probably isn't going to hold that well, just because past experience from all the dirt, sand, grit that gets underneath of it starts breaking the adhesion after a while. So that's why I was really hoping that this right here will work. So I'll have to get this cut out and see if I can make this work. This hopefully will mount in this spot. I just don't know if this ESC is going to fit within it. We're just going to have to find out. I couldn't find anything online that actually said it worked for the Castle Copperhead 10. I think they maybe had one for the Mamba Monster and for the Sidewinder, but nowhere on here does this say this will work for the Copperhead 10. So I'm just crossing my fingers that they're roughly the same dimension, and it'll work. So I have to get these cut out. Got my cutter somewhere, and this should mount like right in, be like this. Something like that. It's going to match up with some of these holes right here. And then basically you screw the top on, and that's what actually holds the ESC in place. And I think this is probably for the on-off button. This little part they have to cut out. Let me get cut out, and maybe I can hopefully figure something out. Looks like this also came with some supplied screws right here. So let's get this broken open and see if we can find some way to mount up this ESC. Trying to figure out how this goes. Probably a good idea to rip out the directions and see what they say, rather than just trying to guess. Okay, so this is the base plate right here, which is what I thought. And the base plate looks like it is going to basically go like this, which is kind of what I thought. So the base plate's going to go like that. That'll line up with two of those holes. And then ESC will sit right there on that platform. And then these two holes right here and here will then go, let me see if I'm doing this right. Let's just mock it up a little bit. Let's say ESC goes right here on top of the base plate. Let me move this aside so you guys can actually see. So base plate there, ESC on top. Then this is the top of the cage right here. This right here is going to be where the on-off button, these two pieces right here, screw onto, and then that encapsulates the on-off switch. I'm really hoping this will work, guys. I might need to do a little bit of fiddling off camera, guys, because I don't know if I can figure this out while I'm on camera. I don't want to look stupid. I already probably do. But I'll see if I can hopefully make it work. All right, I am back. So first things first, I got the base plate put on. You just use the existing screws that held down the VXL3S ESC here and here. You use those existing screws. Go ahead, screw down the base plate, and I think I can make this work. It's probably not the exact same dimensions as the Sidewinder, but I think it'll work. So got it cradled in there like this. Since the wires come up out of the top part, I decided to drape the wires up over this little cage because I don't want them to get pinched by going up underneath. Then I think this right here kind of straddles in between these bullet connectors where the motor wires plug in. Then the long screw goes here, and the other long screw goes there. And then this little cage that houses the on-off switch then gets bolted to the side. So I think I can hopefully make this work. Probably going to do that off camera, and I will be right back with you guys when I am ready for the next step, which should be the motor. Decided to come back real quick before we get to the motor. This will work, so if you are wondering if it will work with the Copperhead 10, it will. You need to figure out how this goes, and that holds the on-off switch on. I'll be right back with you guys once I got that figured out. I have got the little on-off switch cage mounted up. Looks like you can pick how you want it to be configured. I put it this way so the off-on switch will be faced this way. Otherwise, you can put it in this hole and that hole and face it this way, and then the on-off switch will be on the side right here. I prefer it right there. Be much easier, I think, if I reach up underneath the body to hit it right there. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe it would have been easier to come in from the wheel well and do it there. I don't know. But that's on. So now I just need to get the on-off switch mounted up in here, which that'll just go like that. All right, I've got that on-off switch mounted up. I really like the way that that's kind of encapsulated in this little piece that you put off to the side. That works really nice. I'm glad the cage looks like that's going to work, hold the ESC pretty firmly in place. Next thing we're going to do is install the motor once to get all that tidied up. All right, after a bit more tidying up, I got all the wires routed into the receiver box about the best I could. I also used some waterproof grease around the receiver box lid and across this part right here, across the wires to keep any water out, because even though everything else is waterproof, the receiver itself is not actually waterproof. It's relying on this box to keep all the water out, so I do that for a little extra assurance. And I also swapped out the broken antenna. This one had a break in it. ESC is all secured, so I'm liking that. The cage looks like it's going to work pretty well. I like how it's looking so far, so I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and figure out how to mount up this motor and get everything connected. And then we're going to do the taller battery tray strap. I need to also find that pinion. I have a pinion I need to mount on that motor. But yeah, I'll be right back with you guys once I get everything resituated and I'm ready to go. So I ran into my first issue. I just got the motor mount hooked up and was trying to fit the motor and realized with this cage, this motor's not going to fit in here. So that is a massive problem because I'm trying to think if I swap this around, it doesn't matter because that'll put this side over here. And we can't have this part that's jutting out. That's what's causing the issue. You gotta be joking with me. I can't even get the motor down in there to begin with. So now I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna have to do. Now I might have just assembled this for no reason because now I might have to take that whole cage out. I don't see how this motor is gonna fit. Not to mention the sensor wires right up against there. And it's just not gonna fit. Gosh, there's always something. I'll be back with you guys. Hopefully I figure something out. You can see the dilemma I've run into. So in order for the motor to shift at all, it's right up against there. And I can't cut into that at all. And one screw on this side is not going to hold this cage in place, I don't think. So now I might be kind of screwed. I'm just trying to think what I can possibly do now without having to buy a different mount and mount this motor up higher. I wasn't anticipating that would be an issue. So after a bunch of checking, fitments, readjustments, no matter what I do, there's no way this motor is going to fit, even with the base in here, because even if I swap this base around, then this piece will be over here. There's no way this will fit, but yet this says it's for a Slash 4x4, so maybe it can't take a 1412 motor in this chassis? I don't know, because look, this bit right here is supposed to go down on this little nub. It sticks out like this. And it can just barely get on there, but then the issue is the motor is already up against the base plate. So that means this won't even work with the base plate. The issue isn't even the top of the cage. The whole cage altogether is not going to work. So I'm pretty bummed out. I feel like I just wasted a bunch of time because now I have to pull the base plate. I need to pull the top cage. And now we're going to have to use double-sided sticky tape. And I'm going to have to figure out how I can mount it as close to the receiver box as possible to have clearance. We should be able to get clearance, yeah. I'll be able to put it right here with double-sided foam tape. I was really hoping this would work. And no type of cutting that can I do is that going to do anything because the whole plate right there is in the way. And if I cut all this off right here and just have one screw holding it on, that's not going to work very well, I don't think. I don't think that's going to hold. Because basically I'd have to cut this whole side off for that motor to be able to fit in there. Well, I am back, guys. It does look like the motor will fit. So the motor will fit with the ESC, but the ESC is not going to work on that platform with this cage. It's just not going to work. The thing I don't like about the design of the Traxxas Slash chassis is because of the way that it has this reinforcement through here, this like X, when I lay down double-sided foam tape, it's not going to lay flat on this. So it's only going to be sticking essentially to like these areas right along here. So I do not like that. So the thing that I can still do and the thing I can still retain from this is I can retain the bottom platform as long as I cut. What I did was I cut this side off right here. So this right here was the other side that jut out and that the top part of the cage is supposed to mount onto. What I went ahead and did was I went ahead and cut this side off because then I can still, I believe, squeeze this in here around the sensor wire and mount this platform up. And then I can use double-sided foam tape on this platform. It's a lot more likely for the ESC to stay sticking to this rather than the actual chassis. So that's the thing I'm going to do. It will fit in here. It's just not ideal. So keep on working at it. I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. Alrighty guys, I'm back with a little update. I was able to continue using the platform. So if you are planning on putting this system in your Slash or Slash 4x4, I assume it's the same with the Ultimate as well. It's not going to fit right. Not with this motor and this ESC. Not if you want to run the cage. Now, this piece did end up coming in useful in the end because that platform's flat. So I was able to actually put the adhesive on the bottom of the ESC and stick it directly on there. And that's going to be a much better, secure way to actually adhere it, because it wouldn't adhere very well just onto the chassis. Yeah, this has been kind of a long process to get everything to fit. I was anticipating I could have issues with the cage, but I did not think there'd be clearance issues with the cage to the motor. So if you want to run this system, just keep in mind there's not going to be enough room to run this cage and this motor. You're going to have to sacrifice something. Either get a shorter can motor, which I don't know. And I also use this bit right here that used to retain the motor wires, I think, to hold the sensor cable in place. You can see the sensor cable barely has enough room from the platform to plug in the back there. I just got my gear mesh set. I put that 13 tooth that came with the 3500 kV back on. So we're still running the same gearing, 13 tooth pinion, 54 tooth spur gear. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the taller battery tie down on. And here's a new part right here, 5827X. It is a Traxxas upgrade part, so let me go ahead and get this ripped out. So it's this one right here that needs to be removed, and this one, and then this piece comes out. Then we can use, I believe, our little wrench that would come with your Traxxas. It's one of the side ones. We'll actually undo that. So that's what you'll need. All right, got that piece out. Grab this piece out right here. So this is the taller piece, and here's the piece I just took out. So you can see the difference. There's two different settings. You can put it at the same setting that the stock battery tray strap goes, or there's a taller setting. So this just goes down in the chassis like such, just fits right down in there. And let's see, did it come with new screws? No, we just retained the screws that I took out, which are these ones right here. Put those in. The next thing is to take this little bit, I don't know what you call that piece, take that off so we can swap out for the taller one. Pretty self-explanatory, and it's this side right here. So go ahead and get that off. Also, by the way, guys, if you have been enjoying this video, please go ahead and give it a like. There's been a lot of ups and downs in this video. I thought it was going to work good, and then I was disappointed to find out that when I tried to install the motor, that nope, both the stuff won't fit. So it's kind of been one of those up and down kind of videos where I've just been trying to figure out how to make everything work. So whenever you guys hit the thumbs up button, it really does motivate me. It really kind of helps restore my energy. Then we go ahead, put the longer one in, and same process. Just go ahead, screw it down. And you want these to the side right here, the holes, so that you can get the pin through the side. So then it does also come with a new battery strap. I think it's identical. Oh no, it's not identical. I thought it was identical to the one that it came with. It's not actually. It has looks like it will go higher or lower. So it looks like this is 20 millimeter. Or 29, rather than this one being, what, 23 and 25? Yeah, 25, 23. And then it would just go like that. But now that's basically complete, guys. Also, I put a zip tie here to just tidy up these wires up against the shock tower, so it makes it look a little bit cleaner. Overall, I got it looking all right, I feel like. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. And keep your eyes peeled for the next video. Because once I get this all, once I get the castle link and everything programmed on this, we're going to test this thing out and bash it. And it'll be a heck of a lot of fun. So, anyway, till next time. See you later.